Alright, so jokes aside, I think I fixed every issue with the video quality I had in the last video. So welcome to Slinky's Riven Review channel, and today we're gonna review, upon many people's requests, the Kraken, arguably the most shit weapon in the game, but we'll we'll see what we're able to do with what we got. So the ribbon I have for you today is Kraken Satiata, which is damage, multi-shot, fire rate minus impact. The damage and the multi-shot are obviously very good. The fire rate is a little bit debatable, we'll get to that later. And the negative impact, due to Kraken's very good, in my opinion, IPS spread, is also very, very nice. So, well, what is this very bad weapon we're talking about? Let's see. So basically it has horrid crit chance, a decent crit multiplier, actually pretty okay-ish fire rate, very low magazine, horrid reload time, 13 status, which is kinda bad. It's a burst pistol, pretty much like the Cerberus, which really depends on how you like to play, if that's a good thing or not for you. And then the IPS spread, which is absolutely beautiful in my opinion. It has a lot of impact and very balanced slash and puncture. It would be better if it was higher slash than puncture, but still, this balance between slash and puncture is very, very nice. Because it has so much impact, removing all of it will leave pretty much only elemental damage left, and that's really what we need to fix this shit of garbage we have in our hands right here. The Kraken is a burst rifle that has semi-decent fire rate, so if we shoot single shots like this, let's do it down here, you can see that when I'm at this distance to the wall when I shoot, it shoots 2 rounds, so the second one will hit above, always. Let me put on some more fire rate mods. It will actually impact its accuracy by a lot. So let's throw on, like, let's say just anemic agility for comparison. I'll go back down here and I'll shoot, and what will happen is it will actually gain this kind of spread pattern that is way more apparent the further you're away from the target. So when I'm shooting from here, it shoots bullets way over to the side. Let's check if we have like a even further target to hit. But let's look at this wall. It pretty much shoots all over the place. So basically, if you're adding more fire rate, as we have on our ribbon, your accuracy when firing very fast will get worsened a lot. But if you're still just tapping, it will pretty much stay the same. It has to do with while it's in its recoil, if you shoot again, it will just spray all over the place. So let's see. I'm pretty confident that showing a comparison between unmodded isn't necessary with this, because Kraken itself is very, very bad. So there's practically no need for it. First of all, we're gonna just do a raw damage build for single targets. So let's see. I'll put on the Riven, it will remove all the impact, which will pretty much fix all the stagger issues. Then I'm just gonna run a normal build with Hornet Strike Barrel Diffusion for damage and more multi-shot, even though the Riven has a very big damage and multi-shot increase already. Increasing these further will probably yield very good results overall. Damage multi-shot, then we're gonna add a Bane mod against Corrupted in this case. Then we're gonna add normal 60 mods to bump up the status chance a little bit. Without multi-shot, we're having 28% status chance, with this roughly under a third of our bullets that going to a play status. But with all the multi-shot we have, which is 172.7 plus the 120, which roughly translates to 300% extra multi-shot, meaning that you shoot 4 bullets per single bullet normally, which is 8 bullets per shot, because this is a dual round burst rifle. We'll get a lot of status procs, which are great because we don't really have anything in IPS left, so just having more elemental will get the corrosive procs up, which we really want to get. And in the last slot, we just want to run even more elementals, so we get the damage up. The thing with crits is that the crit chance is very low, but the crit damage is decent. So if you crit, you're gonna deal a lot more damage overall when running crit mods instead of Convulsion and Hornet Strike in this sense, for comparison. But the issue is that you're gonna crit very little, and I'll show you that later. So it feels very bad to use because only occasionally you'll have very high kill times in comparison to not running crit. But with this you'll get a very overall balanced kill time, which I personally prefer. So let's spawn let's say we'll just spawn like 4 heavy gunners and 4 bombards. Let's see on this heavy gunner level 155 how much we can do. So as we can see, we're getting a couple corrosive procs. This is actually pretty decent, like getting him to half health with 1 magazine. For a Kraken, that's very decent. And pretty much with like almost all of the second magazine, we'll kill him off. Another issue with the Kraken is that you have so much reload time, which is kind of annoying. I'll show you later what I would run with this for normal missions. But see, now we have 8 shots in the magazine left because we got crits, which are very inconsistent though. Alright, let's try on this bombard. 5, 6, 7, 8, 7. That's 1 magazine. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's almost a half magazine. More than half of the magazine. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me just compare it to a crit build, for example, so you can see what I mean with inconsistency. Running crit on this is very much of a gamble, because, as I said, if you crit, you'll deal a lot of damage. If you don't, you won't. Simple as that. So we're basically cutting our damage in half, but going from 2 times crit multiplier to 4.2 times and then tripling the crit chance. So if we're going to crit, we're probably going to deal damage. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, which also halved half of itself because I was able to crit a little bit. 2, 3, 4, which is pretty much what I had on the last build as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. As you can see now I'm lacking because I didn't really crit that much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, now I'm running on the low side in terms of kill speeds again. Let's compare on this bombard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, this is a lot worse if you don't really crit. Yeah, I almost ran out of the magazine again. Yeah, as you can see, I deal basically no damage if I don't crit or proc status, which is both an issue because the status chance also isn't really that good. So I needed over 2 magazines now, which is very bad. Very bad. At least with the other build I had the consistency of always needing less than 2 entire mags. With this, it's pretty hard, not gonna lie. Alright, let's go back and see what we can do. So this was single target damage. So let's compare how fast I could kill an entire row of these. So we're gonna run Seeker with this for punch through to see how fast we could kill a row of these gunners. Putting in Hornet Strike again and dropping the crit, because crit seems to be very inconsistent overall, even though it has the potential to be. On the first roll I'm doing slow taps, so we can get the most out of the accuracy and just be very accurate in general killing the enemies. So like 2 at once died because the punch through did its work. This one I didn't quite hit well through the other guy. But overall it seems very decent, like very decent. So let's see how much I can get out of this, like firing as fast as possible with the extra fire rate. Keep in mind that the accuracy obviously gets reduced due to me firing this fast. Yeah, I'm needing more than 2 mags now, but it kills fairly well for being a Kraken, and it's also very fast, with the added bonus of not having any weird staggers that could influence like overall accuracy and enjoyment of the weapon. Let's see what we can do against Manic Bombards. Let me swap the Bane really quick. Weirdly enough, sometimes the Manic Bombards get staggered even though there's no impact. I gotta research further why that is. Maybe it's dependent because they have a dodge animation when they're unpaused. They usually try to dodge stuff on their own, so maybe that's forcing them to go into the stagger. As you can see, it's not bad, but it's also not great. For having a very nice Riven for something and it not being great, that's kind of very disappointing. What we gonna do now? Basically, I made this build, which is very nice to use because it utilizes Prime Quick Draw to get more reload speed, and utilizes Seeker to get punched through. This is usually like a build I would recommend for running in normal missions or sorties if you really like the weapon. The fire rate helps with the feel of the shots, and the punch through is nice to hit multiple enemies at once, and the Prime Quick Draw obviously reduces the reload by a big margin. Let's see how this works. Well, it shoots fast, reloads semi-decently. Let's put in some enemies that you're likely to encounter. Let's put in, like, just to be generous, like 8 corrupted heavy gunners level. Let's do like level 100. That's usually what you see in sorties. So as you can see, this build still kills sortie level enemies very decently, but with the added benefit of being way more convenient to use than a raw damage build. So can Kraken be used as a weapon to kill sortie enemies? Yes, it can, but you still need a very good Riven to slingshot it up there, so if you find one and you like the weapon, I guess there's no reason for you to not use it. Let's do the gas builds. So, gas build. What does a gas build make strong? Well, there's the added bonus of having like so-called Bane or Expel mods that amplify the damage multiple times. But usually gas also very much benefits from having crits to amplify the damage even further. So we're running a crit build is kind of mandatory for this. I'm also running Seeker because hitting multiple enemies will spawn multiple gas clouds. Let's see how a gas build performs with an Expel mod against these level 100 heavy gunners. As you can see, if I crit, I get these big chunks, red chunks you can see in terms of gas ticks, which are very decent. But if I don't crit, it's pretty much just very average. Not to mention that the Riven doesn't have extra toxin damage on it too. to get the exponential gas tick damage higher. But for what it is right now, it's I suppose a very decent gas weapon against sortie level enemies. I don't really need to show this against manic bombers either, because they're way too tanky for this to look any interesting at all. Well, that's pretty much it for the Kraken. I would recommend my this build actually running for gas for any types of normal missions, because you won't feel the agony of of the 2.5 second reload, and you'll also have more convenience with the Seeker on there. Not having a Bane on there isn't really relevant for normal missions anyways, and with the gas you'll just kill groups of enemies, even though this is a Kraken, which normally doesn't do anything. So very much thanks for watching this video. If you have any more questions or recommendations, put them in the comments, leave a like of course, so the YouTube algorithm might even find out about me someday. And subscribe if you want to see more content. Also, I've got a Twitter if you didn't know, so if you're inclined to follow that, check it out in the description. Well, thanks for watching and bye.